If you're a big fan of football, I'm sure you're probably glued to your TVs right now because the Super Falcons of Nigeria are making hard work of qualifying for the Intercontinental Playoffs for the Women's FIFA World Cup taking place next year. It is currently goalless between them and the Banyana of South Africa. First half is concluded. Of course, they're hoping to join Ghana, who came from behind and defeated Cote d'Ivoire and have qualified for the Intercontinental Playoffs. So it's now left for Nigeria and South Africa to sort themselves out. There's a lot riding on that game here in Nigeria. We'll be talking about all that and much more afterwards. But let me just introduce the gentleman with me in the studio. To my far right is our very own Okwe Adebari, Mr. Barry Billions, Mr. Italiano, Mr. Serie A. Call him whatever you like, but we know him as Okwe. And of course, it's Thursday, which means that Wale Adigun is in the studio as well. Wale Adigun is a well-known broadcaster and podcaster. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming through tonight. The game in Morocco between the Super Falcons and Banyana. From what I'm hearing, that game is basically what is going to determine the fate of the current NFF board. Although there are some who have said that that fate is signed, sealed, and delivered already. But will this game have any kind of bearing on that on that decision, Wale, in your opinion?
And that's a massive reason why the NFF president is currently taking in this game in Morocco.
You saw him, right? You saw him was sitting on the edge of his seat.
I mean, Ibrahim Gusau, and there are also news making the rounds, unconfirmed, that the Sports Commission is planning to also withdraw funding from the Nigeria Football Federation.
Which is what a lot of people have been advocating for many years anyway.
Which is them wielding some soft power because, you know, without the government funds, the NFF is paralyzed. And basically, the Sports Commission doesn't want to interfere in whatever is happening next month with the elections. You know, that will be termed as government interference, which FIFA frowns at. So I think everything is riding on tonight's game. It's half-time's goalless, uninspired performance. So Ibrahim Gusau right now will be praying to wherever he prays to ensure that at least...
He's allergic, Ibrahim Gusau, so he's definitely praying to Allah right now. But this is just a confirmation of the results played earlier on. Ivory Coast losing after going ahead against Ghana by 2 goals to 1. 1 goal to 2, I beg your pardon, while between Nigeria and the Banyana is currently goalless. Let's quickly dive into other sporting spheres. Before we get to the football, we have some special guests coming through tonight. But more than 200 athletes are expected at the inaugural traditional Sports National Open Championship, which is scheduled for the 14th of August to the 16th at the Moshood Abula Stadium in Abuja. The 3-day event will feature 5 traditional sports: Abula, Ayo, Langa, Dambe, and Kokowa, as the Traditional Sports Federation of Nigeria seeks to showcase the country's indigenous sporting heritage. Technical Director Abdullah Libata said the championship will provide athletes with an opportunity to demonstrate their abilities while helping the Federation identify and develop emerging talent from across Nigeria. Libata also highlighted the Federation's ambition to reposition traditional sports and increase their recognition locally and internationally under President of the Federation, who is also sitting senator of Nigeria, Obinna Ogba. The championship represents a major step towards preserving Nigeria's sporting heritage while creating a pathway for the traditional sports athletes. Now, okay, let me come to you. I was quite surprised why traditional sports didn't feature very prominently at the National Sports Festival. They were dropped, in favor of other imported sports. And it's good to see that the Traditional Sports Council is actually, or Federation, actually holding their own championship. Hopefully it can be annual, but it also depends on the kind of sponsorship that they get. But I think it's only right and proper that we do promote our own domestic sports. Dambe has been in existence for centuries, right? And it's one of the oldest combat sports on the African continent. And there are other sports as well, like of Langa, Ayo as well, that Kokowa, that also require plenty of attention.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I think it really makes sense that we highlight or spotlight our own local sports, because here in Nigeria, we also spotlight some of the indigenous sports that are peculiar to some countries. I mean, like sumo wrestling, for example, and so on and so forth. And even some of the Europeans and Westerners, they spotlight our own traditional sports. So it's been quite weird, you know, if we're taking a look at over the last decade or so, why we haven't really done that for ourselves. But now, over the last decade as well, there has been some sort of resurgence in terms of us putting the spotlight on our local sport. So this is good. I hope the Federation continues to get proper funding. But aside that, one major thing that, or one major factor that will aid the regularity of this sort of tournament is the crop of talents that is being produced. If we don't get regular good talent that could possibly challenge the best of the best at the moment, it will become a problem. Yeah. But then if we have it frequently and we have a pipeline plan to also infuse the youth into this, it will make a lot of sense and we'll have these tournaments regularly.
Yeah, I totally agree. But there's still quite a lot that can be done with traditional sports. Already, I think Senegalese wrestling is gaining quite a lot of attention as well. And who says Dambe cannot follow suit as well? And don't forget, Dambe is not only practiced in Nigeria, it's practiced in Niger Republic and some parts of Chad and northern Cameroon as well. Well, Nigeria's women's team defeated host Senegal by 2-0 to emerge champions of the 2026 African Under-18 Beach Volleyball Development Cup in Senegal. Today, the Nigerian duo of Joy Lawrence and Ife Chukwu Odo started the first set strongly and eventually took it 21 points to 8. The hosts returned with renewed determination in the second set, hoping to rally their supporters, but Nigeria remained in control. The Nigerian pair continued their impressive display and sealed the championship with a 21-10 victory. Nigeria's coach John Iwedema praised the players for their resilience and fighting spirit. The ex-international also commended the Nigeria Volleyball Federation for its support in ensuring that the team participated at the competition. President of the Federation, Musa Nimrod, also described the triumph as a positive sign for the future of beach volleyball in Nigeria. Now, let's talk fencing now. The Commonwealth Fencing Championships is currently going on in Nigeria. It ends tomorrow. I think it's technically ended today. Tomorrow is the closing ceremony. But by all standards, the championships has been a huge success for Nigeria. The nation finished third with 1 gold, 3 silver and 13 bronze medals, emerging as the best performing African nation among the 20 countries. The tournament also saw lots of talented young fencers compete for the nation, showing that the country possesses a very bright future in the sport. Off the piste, Nigeria also recorded remarkable strides. The president of the Nigerian Fencing Federation, Adeyinka Suleiman, was elected president of the Commonwealth Fencing Federation, defeating incumbent Marie-France Dufour 14 votes to 6, becoming the first African and first Nigerian to lead the CFF. Not only did he win the vote, he also followed that up today by winning a historic silver medal for Nigeria at the championships here in Lagos. Samuel claimed the medal in the men's veteran saber event after returning to competitive fencing for the first time in 13 years, winning 3 of his 4 bouts, including a victory over his compatriot Tonyin Sawari. His only defeat came against Wales' Oliver Massey, who went on to win the gold medal, making Samuel the first Nigerian saber fencer to win a medal at the Commonwealth Championships and securing the first medal of his career in fencing. The tournament, 6-day tournament, actually ends tomorrow at the rugby school in Eko Atlantic City in Victoria Island. Let's take a listen to Adeyinka Suleiman, who was speaking after his win.
Won a medal? Okay, that's amazing. No, I've always wanted to win a Commonwealth medal. I think that I participated in 2 Commonwealths, 2006 and 2010 in Australia, and I just missed out on a medal. So for me to win a medal now, as a veteran, I'm ecstatic, and you know, I'm looking forward to win. I'm going for gold. Look, I think we should be very proud of ourselves. We've done something incredible. Of course, a few glitches here and there, which is normal for competition and organizing. But for what we've pulled out, in terms of organization, in terms of the magnitude, in terms of being innovative and putting a lot of things that has never been introduced before and being able to pull all of this off, I think we've done incredibly well.
Okay, Adeyinka Suleiman winning a medal for Nigeria. I don't know what you think about this, Wale, but this is remarkable. I mean, this is a federation president who talks the talk and walk the walk. We've seen plenty of federation presidents who never even played the sport to any appreciable level, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, whether it's whatever. Many of them never. But this is a man who can actually back up what all his talk about the sport with real action in the face in proper competition, and I'm really impressed with this.
Yeah, it deserves credit. Yeah, it's also a cool sport, right? So
True.
Which means, I mean, it's basically expect someone like Ibrahim Gusau to go play on the pitch, right? You know that's not going to work out here. But
of course,
but with fencing, it's a bit different. Circumstances are different. But I'm happy that because it's been around for quite some time. Adeyinka Suleiman. I remember, I think we've had him on the show.
Yes, we have.
One time like that.
Last year.
So yeah, it's put in a lot of work as far as fencing is concerned. We've been able to also discover a lot of young players. I think we discovered Ibu. Sometime last year was Ibro or something like that, and is proven to be the poster boy of Nigerian fencing. And this Commonwealth fencing competition just proves that we're on the right track. It might be an elitist sport, but I will take it. So far, it brings international recognition to Nigeria, and you could see that the fact that we won 13 bronze medals tells you that we just need to take that next step. It means that we are almost there. We're knocking on the door at that level. So hopefully it gets much more better the next time out. But it was really cool seeing Adeyinka Suleiman also not only win on the action itself, but also off it. I mean, it's the president
of the Commonwealth Fencing Federation.
That is a big deal.
Yeah, and he joins us now in Lagos here. Adeyinka Suleiman, thank you so much for coming through tonight on Game On. Congratulations on your return to competitive action and winning a silver medal for Nigeria. I think this is your first competitive action in what 13 years? Or is it 16? But congratulations all the same. How does this make you feel?
Thank you very much. Good evening, and thank you for having me. Yes, as I said earlier, I'm really ecstatic. The last competition I participated in was the 2012 in Italy. It was the World Championships where I represented Nigeria. And since then, I've come back to Nigeria. I've been developing the sport, and so not really had time to participate. So yeah, this is the first time I've competed in championships. It's pretty amazing to win a medal.
Yeah, and you also during this championship as well. Early before it even started, you also voted in as the new president of the Commonwealth Fencing Federation, the first African to do that as well. This has probably been the best week of your life, if you ask me. Becoming Commonwealth Fencing Federation president, and also winning a silver.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been an amazing one. Being elected the president of Commonwealth Fencing Federation, it was a good landslide victory, 14 votes to 6. And then right after that, we got our first gold medal ever for the Commonwealth Championships, which was won by Garen. And then me now winning silver, it's like, icing on the cake. So we've had lots of medals so far, lots of bronze medals, lots of silver medals. So yeah, it's been an amazing week. It's been an amazing competition. And, I think even just listening to everyone that participated, and they've been, very happy with the organization and everything about it.
Adeyinka, a very good evening to you. Once again, congratulations. I'm sure you heard Wale when he was speaking, when he said that fencing is an elitist sport. So to the viewers out there who are currently watching you as we've been displaying you on our show tonight, what can they do? I'm talking about those who reside here in Nigeria. What can they do to get involved in fencing? And what can parents do in order to support their kids who are interested in fencing?
Yes, I mean, the history of fencing, it does come from an elite background. But over the years, there's been a lot of intentionality in terms of making it more accessible to everyone. We personally work with Suburb. We've done a lot of programs with Suburb. We've introduced it to more than 3,000 students in 8 local government areas, Shomolu, to different areas. We set up hubs in Lagos Island. We've identified kids that are talented in fencing, as well as work with Suburb to put them into private schools. So we use those platforms, and we have some of them that are competing in this particular championships, the likes of Wisdom Mokolao, Temilade, who have won, 5 international medals between themselves. Our wheelchair athletes are also, from less privileged backgrounds, where we're focused now on developing wheelchair. That's one of the most recent development that we're working on. So I think in general, if people want to try the sport, one, it's open to everyone. So it's not just for an elite class, but it's open to everyone. If you want more information, you can contact us. We have an email, info@nigerianfencing.com, or if you just go to our website, www.nigerianfencing.com, and send an email or make a request.
Okay. Wale has a question, but I just want to mention, I did see something on the screen right now. I saw, did I see clearly? I thought I saw Nigerian athletes using wheelchairs of the Indian contingent, or were they donated? But yeah, you can see that. That's clearly saying India, and that's a Nigerian athlete. 2 Nigerian athletes actually using the Indian wheelchairs. Am I correct?
Yes. So as I said, it's a fairly new
version of the sport. Okay.
Yes, this para fencing. This is the first time we're doing it, and one of the things that has been agreed with the World Ability Sports, which is the body in charge of para fencing, wheelchair sports across the globe, as well as para fencing, is that we need to put together a development program where we can now start investing in this equipment. They're pretty expensive. So in this particular championships, we worked with India to use some of their wheelchairs. But even if you see in the video, those are frames. You can see at the bottom of the wheelchair there, those are solid frames that we actually just got. They belong to Nigeria, and we want to use that as well to obviously get more equipment including wheelchair, and also support other African countries.
Okay.
Yeah, I think congratulations once again. And watching the videos, and I think some of the brands I'm seeing supporting this competition just supports this fact that it's an elitist thing. But that's not my question. My question here is, at what stage, at what phase are you right now in the development of fencing in Nigeria? Where are you right now? Where do you plan to be, let's say, in the next 5 years? Do you also still plan to be president in 5 years' time, in the next 5, 6, 7 years? Because sometimes you need consistency with leadership to be able to achieve certain things, especially in sports like this. So what's your plan? Where are you right now as far as fencing in Nigeria is concerned?
In terms of where we are, we're at different stages for both able-bodied fencing as well as wheelchair fencing. Able-bodied fencing, we have 4 cardinal points which we've been able to actively pursue those 4 cardinal points. 1 is introduce it to schools. 2 is develop grassroots level. 3 is develop an elite program, which we have a couple of athletes on the Olympic pathway, one of our athletes being in the top 10 in the world rankings. And 4 is bringing international tournaments to Nigeria, which we've done. And this is the 6th international tournament we've hosted on, and this being the largest scale. So I think we're on the right track to do that. When we started that, we've achieved that significantly. For para, it is new. As I said, this is in the last few months, couple of months, 3 months that we've been developing this and working closely with World Ability Sports. So we do plan to do a lot more regarding that over the next few years. Regarding my time as president, I understand where you're coming from, but obviously part of leadership is also training and developing people that can take over. So we have been working, we have people in the pipeline that I think can definitely move the sport in the event that when I do decide to step down. But I'm also looking at bigger positions, like going for the Commonwealth Fencing Federation. That's probably going to be a big focus for me in the next 4 years as well.
Well, we've always talked about the biggest legacy any leader can leave behind in Nigeria, especially, is to build strong institutions rather than strong individuals. And I think you're on the right path. Adeyinka Suleiman, president of the Nigerian Fencing Federation, president of the Commonwealth Fencing Federation, and also silver medalist at the Commonwealth Fencing Championships. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And congratulations on your win again today. Oh, well, on your medal today.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you very much. Sure.
Gentlemen, sad news from Morocco. We do have it on good authority that South Africa are currently leading Nigeria by a lone goal in that World Cup playoff match. Hope you want to tell us about that? I don't know how that happened, but
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of people are sweating bullets in Nigeria and in Morocco right now.
Of course, in the early minutes of the second half, the Super Falcons were on the ascendancy, creating chances. Azizat Oshoala missed a sitter before being taken off. And immediately she was taken off, I think we just took our eyes off the ball. A quick counter-attack, and Thembi Gatlana once again scores another goal for the Banyana. And sadly, Inadozie, the way she considered that goal, it might be questionable. I mean, it was a well-worked goal, but I think she could have done better.
Wale, how did this team fall from here to here in the space of 1 year?
Yeah, it's been a gradual decline, but...
Hold on. 1 year is not exactly gradual. That's sudden.
It was happening before.
We had a WAFCON last year.
Yeah, but that
and we had one this year.
That WAFCON final, we're trailing 2-0 in the final.
Which we came back to win. And all of us praised that team for digging deep and digging themselves out of a two-goal hole to win.
Yeah, I think it was 4 years ago, right? And I remember a couple of years ago, I was here saying that I think that we've won a couple of WAFCONs and they were cosmetic. You know, credit to them, but they covered a lot of cracks. And right now, the cracks are showing. And this is what you've seen. And when the cracks show, everything just collapses at the same time. Wow. And that's what you're seeing right now. So maybe it might be a good thing that we don't qualify for the World Cup. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe we can put our house in order. But we know that we don't do that in Nigeria. That's why I feel let's just go to the World Cup. If we don't go, it's still the same thing, right? But the rest of Africa have officially
caught up with us.
And even the South Africa game tonight is not the case of Africa catching up with us. Because South Africa have been our constant...
They're former champions.
I mean, we've won this thing 10 times. The next best country to win this more than once is South Africa. We've won it twice, right? So it's a story of two teams who have lost their way, right? So that is where we are right now. And it's a shame because we could have done better to avert this disaster, but it is what it is.
Wale Adegun channeling his inner building contractor, talking about cracks in the Nigerian house of football. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we're talking football. Our next guest is up. The Nigeria Premier Football League have unveiled a major sponsorship. All this and much more after this break.